welcome to Parallax. I'm David Morley. I'm here joined by Sandy Robson. Sandy goes by the stage name Letitia VanSant in her band, Letitia VanSant and the Bonafides. Her new album is out. It's called Parts and Labor. She is also the program planner for the Friends Committee on National Legislation. It's a lobby group in Washington, D.C. Sandy, welcome.
Thanks so much for having me.
Before we talk about your music, let's talk a little bit about the organization that you're a program planner with.
Sure. It's a Quaker lobby group that works on peace and social justice issues.
Are you a Quaker?
I am.
Okay, so tell me, were you raised in a Quaker
No, actually I wasn't Quaker. I wasn't raised with any particular religion, but I started to feel an itch when I was kind of in my early teens to want to have some sort of religious experience. And my dad had been drafted into Vietnam, and when he was in Vietnam, he'd encountered Quakers working at a prosthetic limb making facility. And so he thought that basically the only place that he wanted to drive me was the Quaker meeting. So I met a lot of people that I liked there, and I liked the philosophy, so I've kind of stuck with it.
So you went to the Quaker Church on Charles Street?
Mm-hmm. Yep, Stony Run Friends meeting right outside of Baltimore Friends School.
So tell me a little bit about the role of seeking peace in your life and what that means for you.
I've spent a lot of my time in my life thinking about how I've grown up with a lot of privilege, and a lot of the things that have allowed me to succeed are actually things that keep other people back. And so I've spent a lot of time thinking about how can I occupy a space that somehow at least doesn't do as much harm to the world. And we all need to be more emotionally competent and more able to connect with one another. So I see music as one of the ways that people can do that, and wanted to try and, with this album, to delve into some of those issues and give people an opportunity to just tell stories and connect with what's going on in somebody else's life.
So then this work, this Parts and Labor album, is your second album.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a spiritual exploration for you?
This album is called Parts and Labor, and it's inspired by stories of the way that our economy affects the lives of people that I've known or places that I've known.
Talk a little bit about some of the songs that you've got on here. Is there a common theme between some of them?
They're all kind of united by the theme of how our economy affects our lives. And I was talking before about my dad. My dad, a couple of years ago, was diagnosed with cancer, and at the time I was really angry because my dad was diagnosed with a kind of cancer that is much more likely to be more aggressive if you were around Agent Orange. So at the time that he had been drafted, he was exposed to it, and very likely, this was why he was having trouble with this illness. And so I was angry that there was somebody in this chemical company back in the day who was pushing the use of this chemical, and people just in offices making decisions to use it that would not bear the consequences of their decisions, that they would affect whether or not I had a dad or not. And I only have one dad, and I really like him a lot.
Is there some of the bigger challenges that you're faced with at your day job?
The organization has a really wonderful mission, and if you don't mind me saying it, it says, we seek a world free of war and the threat of war. We seek a community in which every person's potential may be fulfilled. We seek a society with equity and justice for all, and we seek an earth restored. And I really love that mission. And I'd say in my professional life and in my personal life, it's always how do we act faithfully in every moment, given all of the pressures and all the other things that pressure you to do other things in life. And so how do we learn to question that and to really choose to make more decisions from a place of faith and a place of love and concern for other people?
Does any kind of thoughts like that factor into any of the songs on your album?
A lot of the themes on the album are about how we let forces that are kind of outside of ourselves govern our actions rather than deciding, what's most important to me in my life. So instead of letting all of these huge, dark, scary things that are happening be the way that we choose to respond, that we can instead be proactive and say, we stand on the side of justice and we stand on the side of peace and love.
Well, thanks, Sandy. Would you be willing to grace us with a song?
Oh, sure.
Great. Sandy Robson, her new album, Letitia VanSant, The Bonafides, is Parts and Labor. You can check her out at letitiavansant.com. You can check out her organization at fcnl.org. Until next time, keep it between the white line and the ditches.